When I was young, all Neanderthal depictions were of these very light-skinned cave-dwelling brutes. But did they really have such white skin? Or did they also have a darker complexion? When we look at different depictions of Neanderthals over the past few decades, they often look similar to modern humans living in the region of where the depiction came from. For instance, European depictions show Neanderthals as being light-skinned, while depictions from Asia or the Middle East show a darker skin tone. So I wondered, what skin tone or hair color did Neanderthals have? And was this simply the same for all of them? Or did they have variations in their appearance like us modern humans? My name is Kaylee, and in this video I'm going to tell you all about the research that has been conducted by the experts surrounding the skin color and hair color of Neanderthals. Let's find out, shall we? This video is sponsored by War Thunder, but as always, more on the sponsor later in the video. Of all the different human species that have lived before us, I think it's safe to say that we know most about the Neanderthals. We know that Neanderthal DNA has influenced us modern humans in quite a few ways, but did their DNA influence our skin tones or our hair color? But why are Neanderthals so often depicted with white or pale skin? How accurate are these depictions? When we, Homo sapiens, emerged, our skin tone was dark and had strong tanning abilities. And over time, as we started living more north of the equator, our skin tones slowly lightened and adapted to an environment with much less UV rays. But did the same happen with Neanderthals? It seems that the short answer for this is yes. It seems that the variations in skin pigmentation in Neanderthals were equally as valuable as it was for us modern humans living in the same areas later in time. Before we dive into today's story, a quick word from our sponsor, War Thunder. War Thunder is one of the most detailed vehicle combat games ever created. It's completely free to play on PC, consoles, and mobile, and lets you take control of thousands of historically inspired vehicles, from tanks and aircrafts to ships and more. The vehicles aren't just designed to look authentic, they feel authentic. Each one is modeled down to individual components, meaning damage is realistic, and every battle feels unpredictable and immersive. You can also customize your vehicles with camouflages, historical markings, and decorations, including many created by the community, which adds another layer of personality and realism to the game. Combined with detailed graphics, realistic sound design, and large-scale PvP battles against players from all over the world, War Thunder really brings history-inspired combat to life. If you're new to War Thunder, or if you haven't played in the last 6 months, feel free to use my links in the description to get a massive bonus pack for a limited time only for PC and consoles, including the exclusive Eagle of Valor vehicle decorator, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium access. Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this part of the video. For a long time, depictions of Neanderthals depended on the region of where the depiction was created. In Europe, Neanderthals were depicted with light skin, and in the Middle East or Western Asia, they were depicted with medium or darker skin tones. But none of these depictions were influenced by genetic knowledge, although it seems that these depictions weren't wrong now that genetic work has been done to try and figure out the skin tone of Neanderthals. The genetic work into the appearance of Neanderthals started around 2000, when genetic variants in modern-day humans with red hair pigmentation were analyzed. The team of researchers, led by Rosalind Harding, estimated that at least one of the genetic variants associated with red hair pigmentation found in today's people emerged around 80,000 years ago. This was a time when Homo sapiens, us modern humans, hadn't even reached Europe yet. Therefore, they suggested that this variant had come from Neanderthals. And later on in 2007, another team led an investigation into this same subject. This team looked at 2 Neanderthal individuals found in Spain and Italy, and they found an unknown gene variant that's not seen in modern humans, but this variant is similar to the genetic variants responsible for red hair pigmentation in us modern humans. This suggested that Neanderthals carrying this particular gene variant were more likely to have reddish hair and lighter skin pigmentation. So it seems that some Neanderthals could have had red hair and light skin, although it's unsure if Neanderthals are the reason that red hair can be found in us modern humans, as the gene variant found in the 2007 study is not a gene that's been carried down to us modern humans. So our red hair gene is different from the red hair gene that Neanderthals carried. We also know that natural selection has quite the effect on pigmentation traits in many populations. Research into the fossils found at the Denisova cave in Siberia revealed that these populations, mostly known as the Altai Neanderthal, had a variant that has clear associations with pigmentation. One of the results in this study revealed an association with increased freckles. Freckles in modern times, as most of you watching this will know, are associated with reddish hair color and pale skin. So for freckles to have been associated with at least some Neanderthal individuals suggests that indeed Neanderthals could have had red hair and light skin and freckles. Although, as you can imagine, it's unclear how much these variants lightened the skin of these Neanderthal individuals, and it's unclear how much these variants affected the color of the hair. So if you've been watching me for a while, you will know that I have blonde hair and green eyes, although my hair is a dark, almost strawberry blonde color if we're going to be exact. Both my sisters are dark blonde and have blue eyes, but both my sisters have slight freckles, while I do not. My dad was a blonde with grayish blue eyes, although he tans really easily, while my mom has light blue eyes, reddish hair, and lots of freckles and pale skin, and she does not tan easily. Just in my immediate family, we can see how genes and their variants can appear differently. Funny thing, my mom is actually a twin, and her twin brother has dark, almost black hair, dark brown eyes, and looks like an Italian. So it's really funny to have a ginger mom with freckles and super pale skin and super blue eyes, and her twin brother looking exactly like you would imagine an Italian man would look like. It's really funny to ask people if they believe them to be family, and people think they cannot be related, let alone that they are twins. So just looking at a gene variant can't tell us what someone looked like. We can't know how much having a gene variant within your genome will affect the pigmentation of your skin, your hair, or your eyes. But it is good to look at it, knowing that it has the ability to affect the appearance of every individual. Someone who doesn't carry a variant associated with red hair or freckles will simply not have red hair or freckles, while someone who does carry a variant may have red hair or freckles. So some of the variation in genes carried by Neanderthals back in the day were inherited by us modern humans, and these variants have the ability to affect the skin and hair tone of the carriers living in modern times, and it can also affect how easily someone tans. The research into the skin tone of Neanderthals seems to suggest that Neanderthals differed in their hair and skin tones just as much as people do now. They might have evolved in a similar fashion as us modern humans, although they did it long before us. The individuals living in more northern regions seem to have had a paler skin complexion, while the individuals living in Eurasia and those living closer to the equator had a much darker skin complexion. And when looking at it from a super simple perspective, it all comes down to UV rays. When living close to the equator, your skin needs to be protected from the sun and the harsher UV rays, and therefore skin will be darker. And living further away from the equator results in a lighter skin tone, one that's more suitable for vitamin D synthesis in a region where the amount of UV has seasonal variations. It seems that the lighter skin tones in Neanderthals living further away from the equator were necessary for their survival. So when someone asks, what did Neanderthals look like? The simple answer is, we don't know, because they seem to have had a lot more variations than we do today. They might have differed much more when comparing individuals from different populations in different regions than modern humans do. They could have been much paler or much darker than us, or have more different undertones. When looking at someone from the continent of Africa and put them next to someone from, let's say, Japan, these two individuals look completely different, and it seemed to have been the case with Neanderthals in different regions as well. So when looking at the depictions of Neanderthals, it seems that they have been underrepresented in their appearance, as most Neanderthal depictions look very similar, and they didn't look similar. More work into the complexity of skin pigmentation in Neanderthals is needed to broaden our understanding into their appearance. But I'm sure as time goes on, we will learn more, and the depictions of Neanderthals may drastically change as new discoveries are announced. Back in the 90s, the idea of a red-haired Neanderthal was quite ludicrous, but nowadays it actually seems quite normal. Because science has the ability to change our perspective, and that's the beauty of science. It's ever-changing, it's not stagnant. If you learned something 30 or 40 years ago, and you research that same subject now, you will find out that back in the day, you learned this, and now we know this. Massive difference. But all of this leaves me with one question. What do you think about Neanderthal skin pigmentation? Are you excited about future studies in Neanderthal skin and hair pigmentation? Let me know in the comments down below. And once again, thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. You can play for free and claim your bonus rewards by using the links in the description or the pinned comment. If you enjoyed watching, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more of these kind of videos, and click that bell icon if you want to be notified whenever I upload. If you haven't seen my previous videos yet, then click the card in the upper right corner, or click one of the links in the description down below, or click a video in the end card. I would also like to say a massive thank you to my patrons and my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting me, truly means the world to me. And yeah, North 02 Neanderthal skull. It's a two-piece, so you have the skull and the jaw. Would you like a Neanderthal jaw? I like a Neanderthal jaw. Who doesn't like a Neanderthal jaw? So you can grab that at north02.com. And of course, I'm sporting my Lindsay Nicole Becoming Human merchandise t-shirt, because I like to support my fellow creators wherever I can. And she drops merch every now and then, and they're usually only available for a limited time. So if she drops one next time, be sure to snack something. And yeah, with that said, I will see you in the next video. We have like 1 or 2 videos to go before I leave to Peru. So let's go. And also, the tattoo is gorgeous. Of course, when I move my arm around, it morphs because I like that tattoos do that. And it says, "You do not yield." Because I will not yield. I have this stupid disease in my body, and it may one day ruin my life, but I won't let it. So yeah. Okay, with that said, okay, bye.